The legendary triple barrel sawed-off shotgun, known as the Hydra, is one of the most fun weapons to use in Resident Evil 5. The Hydra is only unlocked after fully upgrading the starting shotgun to Ithaca M37. The Hydra is going to cost you 30,000 gold to purchase and an additional 95,000 gold to fully upgrade, totaling the cost 125,000. The upgraded stats are as follows. Firepower is 550, reloading speed of 3.3 seconds, capacity of 10 shells, and 2 points to the attack range, which buffs up the firepower to 1,177 by increasing the number of pellets per shot. This makes it the most powerful shotgun in the game. While there are no real firearms that completely match the Hydra, it was most likely based on a John Dickinson and Son triple barrel shotgun. Playing through the game on professional with the Hydra can be a breeze or a headache depending on the situation. For hordes of Genie and most of the mini bosses, the Hydra can dispatch them quickly and is a blast to use. However, some bosses and mini bosses can be quite difficult due to the weapon's shortcomings in range. The other only shortcoming you may come across with the Hydra is the ammo capacity and the reloading speed. Both of these, however, can be remedied by infinite ammo or reloading through the inventory screen. With all that being said, all the gameplay is on professional with the fully upgraded Hydra. Let's take a look at the sub-bosses in the game first. Like the hand cannon, it would be unfair to list the Hydra as useless against any of these foes, so we will save the least optimal for last. Up first is the Executioner. It takes several point-blank shots to defeat him, but he is an easy target to hit and is easily stunned. Next is the Chainsaw Genie. It still takes several shots to down him for the first time, but you get most of those in after stunning him once. After he gets back up, it takes a single shot. The Giant Genie is also easy to dispatch with the Hydra, as he is a big target and easily stunned. For the Reaper, it may be tricky since you want to get a bit closer, but not too close, or you'll get hooked into his insta-kill. As long as you hit his weak points, he'll go down in a few shots. The Lickers are a bit more tough since it takes a few shots to kill them, and usually 2 shots just to stun them. When they're in groups, the Hydra suffers a bit because you need to be closer to get the maximum damage. A one hit from these guys will kill you, and there's usually a lot of them all waiting to swing on you. Finally, we have the Gatling Gun Genie. He has a very large health pool and is a bit harder to stun with a Hydra. The best strategy for him is to flash him first, then unload into his critical spots to stun him again. Now on to the main bosses in the game. First is Ouroboros. It's easy to stay close enough to him and deal the max amount of damage as long as you shoot off its arms. After it goes down, just keep unloading, and by the time it gets back up, it's already dead. For Pop Kurimu, you certainly don't have to use the mines to stun him. However, I find it the easiest way to land consistent shots. Once he's down, it takes several shots. I had to stun him twice. The Hydra against U8 is a relatively easy boss. Avoid his pincer attacks, which could quickly kill you, and stay on the glowing red weak points. You don't have to use grenades to expose his brain, but it does make the fight go by much faster. Up next would be Wesker. I find that the Hydra isn't too awful against him, as you can keep close enough to deal damage. However, you just have to remain vigilant on his attacks that will kill you quickly on professional. It took me several phases of cycling through his weak points to finally take him down. The next few bosses I had a bit more difficult time dealing with. For Irving, the obvious shortcoming of the Hydra's pitiful range makes him a bit more of a challenge. Shooting his weak spot all the way across the ocean can be troublesome. Fortunately, dealing with the fast-moving tentacles isn't as difficult. It may take a bit more time, but it is doable.
Something that undergoes such a rapid transformation must have a weakness.
For Exella, the same issue of range pops up. The glowing weak spots are large, however, a bit far away, which makes the Hydra not very optimal to use. That being said, dealing with her tentacle spawn is a lot easier than previously showcased weapons. Defeating this boss may take some time with the Hydra, or you can just be a normal person and use the rocket launcher the game throws at your feet. Finally for Makono. This is probably the one I struggle with the most. A very important step with dealing with him while professional is to take away his arms by hitting the weak spots. This can be difficult with the range and accuracy of the Hydra. However, once you do that and get his major weak spots open up, closing the distance and unloading into them is your best bet. For this boss, I highly recommend to bring incendiaries or use a flamethrower to bring out that weak spot. For my final thoughts on the Hydra, it's probably the weapon I enjoy the most in the game. The sheer damage and spread make it an absolute unit, and is very rarely not in my inventory. I recommend to use this on any professional playthrough. The Hydra isn't without its faults, however. It has abysmal range and presents itself as an issue several parts into the game. It's not something I'd go through the entire game with, but it is a worthy sidekick to any other weapon you may have in your inventory. That wraps up the weapon showcase for the Hydra. If you liked the video, please subscribe, as I will continue making weapon showcases like this for Resident Evil 5, eventually covering all the weapons. Check the description for more links to everything involving Resident Evil 5 and my weapon showcases for Resident Evil 4. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.